Good morning students, welcome to GC Tech Hub CS tutorials. In today's lecture we are going to discuss about debugging programs. This will be the last class for debugging programs. So we will be learning how to debug, how to use the debugging module PDB in our Python program using Python idle as well as how to use it in PyCharm. So let's move on to today's class. So Python comes with a debugger module named PDB. We use it in this way, that is, we already import the PDB module, then we use this function that is setTrace, pdb.setTrace. Add this code from where you want to start debugging the code. So we will, and some basic PDB commands are P, which is used for printing the variable value, and N is for next. So if you feel that there is a certain code which from where you are suspecting the logical error to arise, you can just import the PDB module and you can insert this small, you can call this function at any point within your program to check the authenticity of your program and also to check the intermediate values of variables. As you can see, this is a Fibonacci series program where there is a logical error at this point where you can see, that is, this is the point y equals z. So y equals z should come after x equals y. If I just change this order, if I write the wrong order or sequence of these two statements, then we would be getting a series, but it won't be the Fibonacci series. So I will first tell you how we can trace this kind of an error. So you can see this is the spider idle and I'm using Python 3.7 on it. And here you can see the variable explorer where you can see all the values of the variables, all the intermediate values of variables. And here you can see the IPython console, that is the interactive mode can be used over here. And here you can easily check the values of variables, you can check the output, you can input, like all those things which we do in a Python shell in the normal Python idle. And this side is the script window where we type the script. So we have the error in our program, and in through this PDB module we can see how we can easily trace out the logical error. So first we need to import the PDB module over here. So the PDB module is imported, and now wherever you want, where you suspect the error to take place, you can just insert the set trace. You can call the set trace function over there. Because there was no error in the previous two statements, hence these two statements we already are sure that there is no error, so we would, and usually the error occurs after the first two values are printed, so we would easily guess that the problem starts from the third value. So we are going to insert this PDB module over this, we are going to insert that code within the for loop. If you want, you can insert the set trace, you can call the set trace function even at the beginning of the program, it's up to you. So here set trace function is called, as you can see, and we call it using pdb.setTrace. Then we save the program and we run it, and we need to enter the number of terms over here. And now the moment the set trace, moment the program runs, wherever the set trace function is called, immediately after that you can see that Python already gives you this kind of a screen where you can trace the code at every line of it. So, and by using the command N, we can easily move on to the next That is, we can easily move on to the next statement. So by pressing N and then Px is used. P is used for printing the value of any variable. We can check the value of any variable over here using P. Let's understand this example with the help. Let's understand this concept with the help of an example. So we are going to write a program here. This program is to print the reverse of a number. So let's first write the program. So I'm going to first ask for the number from the user, enter a number. Now, when I have entered the number from the user, what I have to do is, if the number is 1234, then I should print the reverse of this number, 4321. And the idea is that even if the number has been asked from the user, it is not like we have to extract one digit at a time and print that. Rather, uh, make we have to generate a reverse number out of this original number. So what we are going to do is, we are simply going to follow this logic, that is, extract a digit at the units place. Like if n is 1 2 3 4, then I'll take out the remainder, and that remainder is 4. And this usually we will get by floor dividing the number by 10. This will give me the digit at the units place. Now this uh, new number I can generate by multiplying this 4 with 10 and adding it. I'm going to generate a new number. So right in the beginning, that new number will be 0. So what I'm going to do is, new number will be new number, that is 0 into 10 plus this remainder, that is 4. So 0 into 10 will be 0 plus 4 will give me what? 4. Right. So and this way I'm going to continue doing it. So right now my number is what? 4. In the next iteration, okay, and I'm also going to, in the next iteration, n should be 123. Then I'll extract 3 from there. I already have 4 in the new number. So 4 multiplied by 10 plus 3, this will give me 40 plus 3, which will be 43. And then next time n will be 12. I'll be extracting 2 from here, and this way I will continue. So right now I did not show you the complete dry run because we need to trace the code. So we will deliberately try to commit an error, a logical error in the program. So n is the number which has been entered by the user. Now I'm going to take new number, which is a variable which has been assigned the value 0. Now till when should we continue? While n is greater than 0. So I'm going to simply write greater than equal to 0. And here I'm going to write, first I'm going to extract the remainder. Sorry, I just showed you one thing wrong. If I have to take the remainder, I have to use the modulus operator. And then after that, new number equals new number multiplied by 10 plus remainder. And after this, I'll be writing So this is it. I have just extracted the number. So every time what I'm going to do is I will extract one of the digits and I'm going to add it to new number. And I'm going to close it over here. So, and I'm going to print the value. The value will be new number. So let me just give a message here. The reversed number is its new number. Let's run the program. Enter the number 1234. But you can see that we are not getting any result. So I'll interrupt it. Now the result is not there. How do we find why the result is not there? So let us try to. Now we can see that these two statements are quite okay. There is no problem with that. So within the problem starts within the while loop. Something is being stuck in the while loop because of which we are not getting the output. So what we are going to do is here we are going to import PDB, and here within while loop we are going to write pdb.setTrace, and let's run the program. Enter a number 1234. Now you can already see that it is there right now at this statement. So let me now run the statement and let me check remainder. So the value of remainder is what? It is 4. So that statement is quite okay. It is giving me the remainder properly. Now again I'll run the next, and now I need to check new number. So the new number is also 4. That is also quite correct. Let me move on to the next, and let me again check remainder. So again the remainder is 4, whereas this time the remainder should have been 3. The problem is we were able to catch the problem over here because the value of remainder is the same and the value of n is also same. So we need to insert one statement here. That is, after doing this, we need to first change the value of n. So n will be n float n equals n divided by, and we are using float division because we only want the integral part, divided by 10. So now this would increment the value of, this will change the value of n. Okay. Okay. Now let's run the program again. Enter the value 1234. Let's try remainder. Yes, it's 4. New number, it is 0. So the thing is, now new number is 0 right now. So we will run the next statement, and now we will see new number. So new number is 4 as according to our very first iteration over here. New number is 4. Next time, again I'm going to run the next statement. Let's print the value of n. Now right now the value of n, if I have to print the value of n, I'll have to use p. So the value of n is now 123 as expected according to our next iteration over here. So let's run it, and let's now check again the value of new number. So it is successfully 43 now. Then again we run it. Let's check the value of n, because n is already a command, so I am using pn, which will print the value of the variable n. Now it is 1 2, that is also fine. Keep running it, and again we are going to check new number. It is 432, which is going in the correct direction, and we will print the value of n, which is equal to 1 2. So let's change it. While n is greater than or equal to 0, we have to do it. And let's check the value of n now. It is 1 now. So this arrow shows the next statement which is to be executed. So now let's check the value new number. It is successfully 4321. Let's check the value of number. It is 0. and if we run it, it is still executing. And if we check now, n is the value of n is 0 now. The value of new number, it is 43210, which shouldn't be the answer. So again there is some kind of an error, and that error is what we have been able to catch that error. The thing is, the loop should have executed, the loop is executing one time extra. That is, it should have the moment n becomes 0, at that time the loop should terminate. The thing is, we have already provided while n greater than or equal to 0. That is, even if n is equal to 0, the program is going to execute, which we don't want. So with this, we were able to trace it only because we checked this value of new number. We were able to understand that at every iteration one digit is added to the new number. So here there is a total of 5 iterations, whereas there should have been only 4 iterations. So we were able to catch the error, and now when we run the program, if you want, you can hide this statement here and run the program and check it. So I'm going to type this and we get the correct result now. So this is how we use the set trace function of the PDB module in our Python idle to trace the error and to find out what is wrong with the program, and also we can figure out what is the logical error and we can correct it. Now, how to use it on PyCharm? So let's see that. So we are using the same Fibonacci series program here. So this is PyCharm, which is which is a very user-friendly IDE. So here, normally we use breakpoints. As you can see, just before that, we normally click on this side, that is on a particular line number, and when we click over here with the mouse, we get a red colored dot, which is a breakpoint. It is a breakpoint. Just like we inserted the set trace function, we called the set trace function here. So we created a breakpoint over here. That is the Python interpreter should stop the execution temporarily and only allow the user to execute one statement at a time by stepping into the code. Now we go to run and we go to debug option. It will soon give us the first statement. You can use the step over and step into. You can just see over here, step over has F8 as the shortcut key and step into has F7 as the shortcut key. Now we enter the number of terms here. It is 10, and you can see the values of the variables also. We are going to step over using F8, and you can also see the values of variables being printed alongside the execution of the program. So every time, and now that this for loop has been executed once, the value of I is also printed over here. And now you will see the value of Z being printed. So F8 key is pressed every time to execute every statement, and you can see the values being changed, values of variables being changed. So this is a much user-friendly way of tracing the error, because you can see, you can check the values of variables in real time, and here also you can see the values of variables. This is the most user-friendly way of debugging a program. So you can check that the values of Z which we are getting over here, they are not the ones which we expect. And that is probably because of that statement which we got, that is y equals z comes has been written before x equals y. So students, these were some easy methods of debugging your program in Python. You can use the debugging module or the debugging feature to figure out any logical error. There could be many situations when you see that you are not getting the expected result from your program. So in that case, what you can do is you can easily import the PDB module. You can run the statement, that is set trace function, and you can figure out what is wrong with your program by checking the values of intermediate values of the variables in between the execution of the program, which otherwise through normal execution of the program which we don't get. So please study this chapter and you can use this debugging feature in your program, right? So try to use it whenever you face problems within your program. Remember, this PDB module is basically only for tracing logical errors which are not easily traceable. We can only understand that there is an error in our program by looking at the output which is not according to our expectations. So please use this whenever you have any logical error in your program. Thank you.